Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you about money and budgeting. Sounds really boring, but it's so important. And I feel like people ask me all the time about, you know, how you afford all this makeup, and I hear people saying like, I'm broke, I wish I could afford that, like I wish I had the money for that, I wish I hadn't bought that, you know, money regrets, makeup regrets, spending regrets, and FOMO is all really real in the beauty community. Now, as part of my real life job, my daytime job, I do a lot of like budgeting and finance and things like that, and I just felt like recently thinking about this stuff, a lot of it really applies to like the beauty and makeup community. The same stuff I talk about with the young people I work with, how they manage their money, how they prioritize a budget. I feel like it might actually be really useful to talk about here as well. And it will also answer some of the questions about how I prioritize what I buy and what I don't, and what I spend on and where I don't, and all that kind of stuff that people sometimes ask me about as well. So I'm hoping this is going to be some useful advice for you if you feel like you're always overspending on makeup, you don't know how to make decisions, you feel like you're just blowing all your money on makeup all the time. I'm hoping today I'm going to give you some helpful tips and tricks to get better with money. So the first thing I do that I think is really important, I notice payday. It's like, oh my god, I've won the lottery, I've been paid, and then like the next day it's all gone, because you bought all the stuff you've been waiting to get your hands on. I feel like people wait for payday like it's, you know, the return of Jesus Christ. You get paid and then you buy all that stuff that all month you've run out of money and you can't afford it, all these new releases that have come out. You hit payday, for me it's the 25th. It's like buy. And then on the 27th, 28th, you're like, oh, I can't afford to eat now. So here's my advice as far as like the timing of purchases. If it is not limited edition, what's the rush? If it's not going to sell out, if it's not like, you know, there's only today and then it's gone, what's the rush? It might come out new today, it might be very exciting, but you know, it will still be there in a week's time. So if it's not limited edition, it doesn't get bought in the first week of the month. So if we're looking at the month as in day one is payday, the month follows after. Day one payday, don't buy anything. Don't buy anything the first week after you get paid. Hold off. The best thing you can do when you're excited and you want to buy something is hold off. Because if you're still excited about it, thinking about it, really desperately wanting it in a week's time, you know you really have thought about it and you have wanted it and you've been considering it. If it's like it came out today, oh my god, I need it, I've just been paid, then that's when we get like makeup regret and we just buy something and we think, I really can afford that. How am I going to make it to the end of the month? I didn't even need it. I just got excited. I got FOMO, and if you're in the UK, you can't return it. So yeah, that for me is a big one. Try and hold off for a week. Don't spend anything. You get paid, you've got to spread your money out over the month. So for me, the first week after payday, buy nothing. The next 2 weeks is where you buy your essentials. So that moisturiser you've run out of, you need a new setting spray, your favourite lipsticks run out, you need a new face wash. You know, your essentials, you haven't got mascara, your mascara's gone dry. The next 2 weeks, those are your items where, you know, if you have to buy it, you need it, you've run out of something, you need it, then next 2 weeks, buy your essentials. And then the last week of the month is the time for any like luxury purchases, anything that is a want rather than a need. Must only happen in the last week of the month, because then, you know, you've got your next payday around the corner. You're not gonna like spend all your money and then not have anything to eat, or that essential purchase, or maybe someone launches something as a surprise, but you spent all your money in the first week. So that's how I kind of prioritize purchasing. The first week of the month I try to spend as little or nothing as possible. The next 2 weeks, purchases I knew I was going to make, I wanted to make, I needed, things that are running out, I need a new one, happens the next couple of weeks. And then in the last week of the month, if I've got money left If I know I'm going to make it to payday without hitting 0 or going into the red, then those like luxury, those wants, those things that come out as a surprise, you've got some money left in the last week of the month for the wants, the nice to have, not the needs to have. The next thing is packaging. I am huge on packaging. I love packaging. Packaging can definitely tip me over the edge on buying something or not. But if you are really on a budget, if you can't afford to buy absolutely everything, what you have to do is really look at the product without taking the packaging into the decision. I think if sometimes I'm like, I just want that, I want it in my drawer, I want it on my desk. And if you're a makeup collector and you just want something to look pretty, then that's fine, that's your decision. But if you are on a budget, if you're trying to prioritize, look at the actual colors in the palette. Say it's an eyeshadow palette. Have you got those colors, but they're organized slightly differently, or the packaging isn't as nice, or it's a different brand, so you haven't really realized you've already got all those colors in there. It's the same thing with, you know, blush palettes and things like that, because it's in a palette. I'm thinking, oh, that's handy because it's in a palette, so it's all in one place. My whole makeup desk is in one place. It's not like I've got to walk to a different location because it's not in a palette. You know, again, all of these things, think about it. Is it actually giving you something you don't have? Or are you being blinded by the very, very pretty and sexy packaging? Sales. Sales are very, very tricky, very tricky. Do you honestly think that Sephora does a sale because they're generous, or they're kind to you, or because they just want to help you out this month because they heard that your bank balance was running low and they're like, oh, let's give Charlotte 20% off, she's really earned it? No. Sales are to make money for the company because everyone goes nuts because there's 15 or 20% off. If something is £40, 15%, is that the difference between buying it or not? I mean, 10% can be £1 on a makeup item. Has that made any difference? Because something is 10% off in the sale, if it was 20 quid, that's £2. Is, you know, £18 so much more affordable than 20 that it means you have to buy it? No, don't get fooled by sales. If you were going to buy something anyway, and you're like, well, I really want that palette, but I'm going to wait for the sale, that is a win. That is smart purchasing. But if it's like the sales hit, so you're buying everything because it's on sale, and oh my god, that palette was originally 50 quid and now it's 40, but I wasn't actually going to originally buy it, but I must have it now because it's £10 off. No, don't do that. I do that in the supermarket. You know, if you're going around the supermarket and it's like, oh, half off, that's cheap, it's basically free, let's buy it, and I wasn't going to buy it anyway. That's not actually cheaper. It's not cheaper than if you weren't going to buy it anyway. So bear that in mind. Be savvy with the sales. Plan as well. You know, I know in America they have huge Sephora events, so you know they're coming. Plan it. Buy the stuff that you were going to buy anyway and you're just being savvy and waiting for a time when it's more affordable. Don't start picking things up willy-nilly because they've been reduced by a few quid. That doesn't make any financial sense. Do not pay any attention to influencers, bloggers, etc., people who are buying everything and anything that comes out. That is a really dangerous trap. This is my makeup collection, and I know that it's bigger than like someone who doesn't have a channel, for example, but there are lots of people out there who have 10 times the size of my collection who aren't bloggers or anything like that, and we're never going to be able to use their whole collection, and most of it is just going to sit and lie by the wayside. Make sure that if you're not using something, if you've purchased something and you're in the UK so you can't return it because you've used it, put it on eBay. I've sold so many things on eBay, it's no good, and you think, well, I can't return it, I've just wasted so much money. If you've barely touched it, as long as you're honest about it, that's the key. Make sure you've said, oh, it's just been swatched, or I've used it once, or I've used it lightly. Put it on eBay, get as much money back as you can. You can also take things that have been, you know, hardly touched, take them into work. You could do a makeup swap session with, you know, if you have colleagues that wear makeup or enjoy makeup, send out an email and say, guys, I've got some, you know, barely used makeup here. Do anyone want to swap? Anyone want to pick something up at, you know, £5 an item? You can make some stuff back. That is for sure. One man's treasure is another man's trash. Remember that. The last tip that I want to share with you is this Afterpay, I think it's called in America. Here in the UK we have something called Klarna. I think in the US it's Afterpay. Klarna has got me into all kinds of trouble. Like when it first came out, I got so excited. I refuse to have a credit card. I don't have a credit card at all because to me it just spells danger. Serious danger. So I don't have a credit card, nothing, no loans, no nothing like that. So Klarna seemed like, oh my god, what an amazing deal. You basically, what you do is, it's not a monthly repayment, so you have to pay the full amount back, but you get like a month to do it. So you can buy something and then you can pay for it in a month's time. But you have to pay the full amount, although there's no interest. It seems incredible. If you're a bit short this month, something comes out and you want to buy it like that, and you don't have to pay for it for 4 weeks. It feels like it's free, doesn't it? It's not. In 4 weeks' time, you're going to have to pay that money, and in 4 weeks' time, do you know that money's going to be in your account? Do you know what might have happened between now and that payment date that might have come up? Your boiler might have broken, you know, you might have had a hospital trip, you might have had to fork out for, you know, insurance, anything might have happened. You might have had a car accident, your car's wheel might have fallen off like my husband's did the other week, etc, etc. Something might have happened and you can't predict that. So what's going to happen in 4 weeks' time? Either you're going to end up putting it on a credit card or you're going to be screwed for money. So bear in mind with Klarna, limit yourself. Make sure that the payment date is going to be, you know, a time when you know that money's in your account. It's, you know, right after payday, something like that. And do not just willy-nilly go buying things on Afterpay or on Klarna. If you don't have the money, then think about whether it's really sensible to be putting it on an Afterpay or on a Klarna, because they're going to build up, and you're then, you know, what you don't want to do is have your payday, have all this money, and then it be just going out the window on Afterpays or Klarnas or credit cards, and you actually don't have any money left for the month again because you've already earmarked it for all these Klarna payments that you now owe ahead of time. So really think about those payments. Keep them to an absolute minimum, if not at all, and ask yourself, if the money's not in my account, maybe I shouldn't be buying this thing. You know, sometimes we have to miss out. So there you have it. That is all my kind of tips and tricks. It's all very, very simple, easy and straightforward, I know, but sometimes the best stuff is. I hope you found this helpful and I would love to see you in a future video. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.